All right, looks like we are live and on the air on both YouTube and Twitch. Welcome everyone to the Foolish Tech Show. It is a lovely Thursday afternoon. We are here mainly to provide you with support and answer any questions about our products and services. If you do have any of those, feel free to jump over to foolishtechshow.com, and we have a couple ways you can join our IRC chat from there, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you directly. Otherwise, we'll spend our time talking shop about random what have yous, and keep in mind that any opinions expressed here are of the own individual that expressed them and not of the company itself. So looks like we got Phoenix already in the chat throwing out a bunch of links here, but before we get into those, how is everyone else doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Things are all right.
Doing well. So yeah, let's see what Phoenix has got for us. Apparently there was a 5-year-old bug discovered in Skype for Mac OS X, and they highly recommend that you update. So if for some reason you use Apple products, you probably want to do that. Then apparently there's a bug in Facebook Messenger chats that allow everyone to read all over all the chats, so we'll deal for that. I thought this one was interesting though. Yahoo admits another billion accounts have been compromised.
What does that bring the total up to, like almost 2 billion or 1.5 billion or something like that? I mean,
somewhere around there. Apparently everything at Yahoo has been compromised.
Are they up to proactively sending out user information now to foreign entities, or have they not reached that bad yet?
I don't know, but I did get an email a while back saying that I needed to change my Yahoo password, and I was like, I don't care about that account.
At this point, I think they're sending those out on a weekly, if not daily basis to their users because of this.
I think I had just gotten one that said my Yahoo account will be closed if I don't change the password.
Yeah, that's neat.
And I was like, well, good.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently, it's not very worthwhile to account anyway.
Well,
so.
This concerns me because I have somebody who refuses to contact me through any other Gmail address other than this Yahoo one, and and I don't want that to be an issue. But I don't suppose it's a problem so much for me, other than what I send him, which I don't really care about. Yeah, it's another issue because they're being purchased, aren't they? By who's looking in? Somebody's looking into buying them. I forget who, but that's causing their stock price is being affected by all of this.
Verizon.
Is it Verizon? Yeah. So that could this could taint the potential deal between them or sully it in some way. So, I don't know. But I haven't trusted Yahoo for quite some time. For email, we certainly wouldn't recommend that even as a company to suggest you rely upon that because they don't have a proven track record. It seems to be more often than not. I mean, I don't hear about Gmail being attacked like that. I don't hear about other mail services being attacked by that, usually at least, unless you go pretty far down the chain. But even Microsoft is relatively free of those sorts of things. You need to have a good reputation if you intend to use any type of cloud service, especially even for your email, which you don't always consider to be cloud storage, but effectively it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the Verizon note, it looks like they've changed their mind about killing the Galaxy Note 7, and they will roll out that update on January the 5th. So if you have a Verizon Galaxy Note 7, make sure you don't update because they're going to brick your device.
I think the concern maybe was a little bit more also that the timing of it, that it was going to be released before the holidays, that could potentially harm consumers in some way by leaving them without at a very particularly sensitive time period,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sales, I mean,
you're not aware now that you need to return your ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
get what you get.
Be well aware. Yeah, after the roll of the year, if you haven't heard the one news flash about that, you're living under a rock.
Yeah. So I thought this looked interesting as well. We'll get back into Phoenix's stuff here in a second, but I just noticed this, that PCRT version 4 is almost ready for beta testing. So if you're using PCRT, you may want to look into their beta options and see if they've fixed some things that you might want in there.
We're going to have PCRT integration with D7X. Is that expected?
Probably the same that D7.2 has.
Yeah, hopefully maybe some more stuff.
Possibly. Then also, let's see.
Hi, Ian. Good to see you.
And HexChat is terrible at copying sometimes.
Yeah, I admit it needs some work in that area.
Sometimes I find I have to like click hard on the mouse button to get links to open.
Oh yeah, the whole crew is here today. Sheree, Nels, Nelson, Ian, and Eric are all here.
They don't have Quark?
No, Quark does.
You don't even know the whole crew.
I'm sorry, missing Quark. Yeah, we are missing Quark.
So yeah, I saw this one too. Ashley Madison is going to end up paying $1.6 million for the data breach. I didn't really check into it and see, are they going to actually be paying the users that they data breached, or how does that work? Who are they paying exactly?
You know, the money never ends up in anybody's hands that actually was hurt by any of these things, so I doubt that. But there were, I don't know, I mean, I thought that was ultimately the intent, although maybe it's just going to go to the lawyers or be such a small amount that it's not going to matter because of class action status. But wasn't the problem, and weren't they being charged with, you know, even the breaching of data even after it was supposed to have been deleted, after they paid even additional extra money for having it deleted, you know, and so it seems like the compensation should in effect go to them. But, you know, hard to say. I you know, I have other issues with this. I don't like, I don't like things so much that profit off of moral ambiguity, you know, moral or ethical ambiguity.
So Federal Trade Commission in 13 states alleging that it misled consumers. So nobody actually...
No, nobody's going to get the money. It's just the government gets the money, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great system.
And then he also
the government
pointed out...
supports the people, so, I mean, you know, it's...
somewhat. He also pointed out this one, which I looked into as well. So if you remember, the shadow brokers were trying to sell those NSA tools for like $1 million or something like that. And like the highest they got was like 670,000. They were upset about that, and now they're just doing direct sales for it. So
thanks, Ian. I think Ian agrees with me on the Ashley Madison thing. Sorry. Direct sales with the hack tools, yeah. Is this because, I mean, I was told that, or I thought that, you know, they had offered these out before and that they were not as well received, and so this is like another ditch effort to get rid of it even cheaper than it was being offered for before, because I thought it was being offered for a whole lot more previously.
Yeah, they were trying to do it for the whole package for $1 million, and nobody was taking it.
Yeah, and now they're down to what, 100,000 for the whole package?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I
they
think
were offered like 670,000.
Well, I know, but the confidence in their ability and their product and what they had was diminished, I believe, as time went on. So I'm not so sure. You know, what's the value in this story? I think it's just reporting that these guys are having a hard time selling these crappy NSA tools, which don't hold up to, you know, don't hold a candle to some of what otherwise exists in the community, and certainly won't command that level of price, you know, that price level. But
yeah. Then he also points out that the J.P. Morgan hacker was arrested in New York. So cool, I guess. And E2B has a version released. Cool deal. Update your E2B if you're using that. I don't know what this ChrisR WinBuilder Win10PESE is. I assume it's some sort of WinPE creator, but never heard of it before, but apparently it's available now. And oh, the MPAA takes credit for KickassTorrents being shut down. That's fine. There's other torrent sites.
Oh God, this is awful. And I didn't even read the previous story, but apparently there was a surgeon. He wore the Google Glass during surgery, and I don't know. I don't think we talked about that. That might have been before us, but now he's apparently. I didn't know. Snapchat has glasses.
Yeah, and I would love to have that surgeon Snapchatting my surgery.
Oh, you would?
No, I would be like, dude, focus on what the heck you're doing.
Exactly. I don't even
be Snapchatting during
How is this even allowed or legal, and why would the patient ever give consent to doing something like that? I mean, they better be asking for consent, too, before this happens. I have so many issues with that, but anyway.
Then looks like there's a video for Unattend.xml on Easy to Boot, so if you need some help with that, there's a video for that. And I saw this. I didn't think this was very interesting, but apparently Edge is going to make Flash click to run by default. So if you're actually using Edge for some reason.
So, but this is something that's been done by Chrome as well, taking this approach to totally removing Flash content, and Chrome's gone to a much farther extent and done it a lot more quickly. Like, it's kind of old school news about them doing some of those things, and impeding Flash content, having it be opt-in and other factors. I welcome that Edge is taking the same stance on it, but I don't think it's anything innovative in that. Like I said, it's kind of mimicking what they're doing otherwise. And it just shows that Edge is leading a largely uphill battle.
Video lost audio. Did it? Not on Twitch.
I'm not streaming today, right?
No, it looks like, yeah, for some reason YouTube video did lose it.
No bad mojo from here.
YouTube lost audio?
Yeah. It looks like YouTube stopped it completely, actually.
YouTube stopped completely? You want to restart it?
Hold on, let me check some more stuff on it. Silly YouTube. I mean, YouTube says it's still streaming and it says it's working, but it definitely is not working on the actualness. Yeah, it looks like it was YouTube. I don't. Are you able to stop and start YouTube?
Yeah, we've done it before.
I guess try it.
No.
Worse, right?
Is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah, it ain't gonna get worse.
Did you see that that little video clip?
All right, I stopped it. Wait a second.
Seeing if we can bring YouTube back.
Okay, gonna restart it now. Okay, it's not listing. Okay.
Yeah, now it shows that YouTube is complete. And that means it won't let you do it again.
Yeah, I don't have the option to...
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have recommended that for the other... I mean, I understand it's affecting someone out there, but was it affecting everyone?
It's entirely YouTube, yeah.
Okay,
well,
so this
could get worse. So.
Yeah, okay, so it's okay. All right, well, sorry guys, YouTube crapped out on us. It's
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why we have a backup. We've had issues in the past, obviously.
Yep, with YouTube. But we've also had them with Twitch as well, so.
I don't know. I tend to the stream quality and some other things. I thought Twitch had some positive advantages, but they have been down too.
All right, we'll give everyone else a second to get over to Twitch. And man, that's going to make it a pain to get the video on YouTube. Oh well. Hopefully everyone's watching Twitch now.
Hopefully. Yeah, Phoenix says it's my fault that YouTube is down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've pulled the plug on YouTube, folks.
Anyway, about the random links that Michael is posting, I saw that one, and I think that one was dumb about the vehicle running the red light.
I mean, the video's not cool, but I mean, it's an Uber self-driving vehicle, so you know, I mean,
Hey, do we know that for sure?
You saw the thing on the top of the vehicle, and I mean, I guess I took it for granted that that's what the
they could have all taken it for granted and said, and all the reports that I saw were like, hey, it looks like an Uber self-driving car just ran a red light. But it was also not an actual real red light. It was a pedestrian stop red light. So
oh, you're right. Oh, okay. So that could be the explanation. And also too,
I mean, it still
was a driverless car. I think there's still ordinances that say, at least in some areas, that they have to still have a driver, even if they're, you know, the driver isn't doing anything. And in that case, if the driver does have the ability to override the vehicle, then maybe it was the driver's just doing, you know, it or being stupid. So yeah, there's a lot of explanations. However, but I mean, I think this just points out, though, that, you know, we need to obviously consider the future where who gets blamed, what happens if potentially this was running the red light and it was a self-driving car and it let's say hit a pedestrian. You know, what's the consequences of something like that? And, you know, I'd like us to consider it prior to it happening the first time.
Obviously, it would go back to the company that owns the self-driving car.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's completely obvious.
Why wouldn't that be?
You know,
why wouldn't that be completely
like
obvious?
for the same questions that
not going against the driver.
Well, what if the driver could have potentially done something and the driver says they didn't, but
well, they'd still be working for the company at the time, so it would still go back to the company that owns the car.
Well, in that case, sir, yeah, I mean, I'll give you that because these aren't publicly sold yet or being used yet, but it's clear it would in this case. But you know, I think we need to address it for when consumers are able to buy self-driving vehicles. That's when it's going to be an issue.
I doubt it, Quark.
So the Uber self-driving cars still have a real driver in there?
Some places require that, not all of them.
Okay.
So depends on where you are and who's doing it and whatnot.
Anyway, I think the other video is cooler though. If I was way off on that first one, I don't think anybody.
The M&M's dissolving is pretty cool. And I had a better link for that one. But it does make it so that I kind of don't want to eat M&Ms anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't eat them, but it's certainly something as a form of art. Isn't that what what's his face did when he did the soup can on the canvas and all? You know, it's kind of like artwork like that. I guess a more modern form of that.
Here's a better link for the Snapchat surgery as well. And
better link. I'm so sorry.
Here's a better link for that M&M's thing because it actually like describes it and shows you GIFs, so you don't actually have to watch the video and stuff. But I mean, they do look cool, but that makes it look like you shouldn't probably be eating those things.
In a blind taste test, I can tell the difference between the colors.
Okay. I've never liked chocolates. I never liked M&Ms, so I never ate M&Ms. So I don't know. Is that a thing? Are they supposed to taste the same or not taste the same?
They all do.
Everyone assumes they taste the same, but I disagree.
We're gonna test you.
Okay. So my understanding is that the colors involved in most candy.
Proctor, do you have
no flavor in and of themselves?
No, like Starburst, the different colors taste differently.
I know, but oh yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
Proctor,
yeah.
Go get a bag of M&Ms and let's do it live on the air.
I don't have any M&Ms right now.
Oh, see, you're blowing smoke. Blowing smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a gas station right across the street?
Yeah, it's early in the show.
They closed the gas station closed down.
Plenty of time to get M&Ms.
Yeah, all we're hearing is excuses. We'll run the show until you get back. So go ahead, go get it.
The next closest store isn't that much farther.
Yeah. So but the color itself.
I want to see this. Yes, I want to see.
Brantley. Well, I was saying the color. By the way, what I was saying, the color is in and of itself doesn't give it the flavor of that, but they could also color it a one way and give it the flavor a certain way, and I believe that's what they're doing with the Starburst, right?
Quark, I've not watched that yet. I have it on my to-watch list though. And Nels, I got your PM, and I'll PM you back after we get to a good stopping point where I can't answer that. Let's see. So while Proctor go get some M&Ms so that we can prove him wrong.
I did not eat all the gas station confectionery, zombie. I promise you, I don't eat sweets like that.
No, you buy them and then you give them to the homeless people out back. Because you take all of their hot dogs, remember?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. I wouldn't even feed homeless sweets. That sounds like I wouldn't feed sweets to anybody because I don't think I think it's unhealthy. I would rather give them a piece of fruit or something that I think has nutritional value.
Well, let's get through the rest of Phoenix's links because he's got a lot today because apparently he's been saving up for a while. This one did look interesting. I haven't looked at it yet. $300 device lets you steal Mac encryption passwords. That sounds fun. Twitch is opening up beyond gaming content. There I opened up to beyond gaming content. Our content is definitely not gaming content.
Thank you for the link, I guess.
Flexible tools for more productive on-site visits. That's a TechNibble link, so I'm not sure how great that's going to be. Let me actually look at that link because I'm interested to see what they are saying. Flexible tools are
about
USB wireless router, AP NIC, multifunction router, USB network sharing box.
They're just talking about stuff you want to be prepared when you go out. Generally, I don't think we would disagree with many of these things, but maybe the specific tools we might have a different answer for the specific software tools, but I don't really see anything wrong with what he's suggesting or what they're suggesting there.
All right, so that's those, and yeah, Michael doesn't get any trick-or-treaters at Halloween.
No, I generally don't, but it's more because of the rural nature of the area I live in.
Tell us more about how rural is it?
No. So at any rate, but the ones occasionally when someone comes by for that, I like to at least give them the choice. I usually, my parents, at least next door, I can always, even in an emergency, even if I didn't purchase anything, otherwise
It gives them the choice. Do you want to stay here and trick or treat, Or go next door and trick or treat.
Well, they don't usually like to go to my parents because my parents have large barky dogs that tend to scare away the children, and it's difficult for them to do. Other my dogs are far less, problematic in that regard, but or at least they were. I don't know about this year. Did I have Lucy in October? Yeah, I guess I did. We didn't have anybody stop by there this year, so.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
This last one that just passed, but we were in Austin.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't even here, was I? No wonder I didn't remember anybody coming by.
All right, let's see if we got some other stuff here.
Remember, we did get trick-or-treaters at the Airbnb, and you scared them off. Told them we didn't have any candy.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I participated.
Either way.
Yeah, the candy thing. I generally will take a smile from a kid any way I can get it. It's the children
Michael.
smiling or laughing. It's a beautiful sound or thing to see. So I mean, it's hard. I want to help let their.
That's how I interpreted it, Cork, as well.
I want to help them if I can, but I also want to. I want to protect their health. Whenever I can. But if it's okay, if it's a small amount, if it's a little treat, a little treat, I'll be happy to do that for their happiness.
You guys can have a half of a Hershey Kiss.
I'm just trying to be.
So anyway, no one cares about your Halloween habits.
Okay.
It looks like Apple is going to charge you $70 for a replacement AirPod if you lose one. That sucks.
Oh yeah, and since they're not together,
hard to lose. Yeah. I would expect it to yell out to me and tell me where it is.
Yeah, again, I want these devices to have, cordless phones have tackled this thing since the get-go of them, right? I mean, you take the phone off the base and you sit it somewhere, it gets stuck in your couch or whatever, and you don't know where it is. And so there's this cool little button that you push that makes a noise so you could locate your device. This would save thousands of things if you had a button like that. And I would think that this day and age, with the all interconnected Internet of Things, that would be a ubiquitous feature. But it seems like something that they've actually overlooked. I don't get it. Those are old school principles and rules that are timeless.
Yeah, that's even like it could just have a Bluetooth tracker built into it so that you could easily locate it.
Yeah, and how hard would that be considering it already has all that technology in it to begin with? So it seems like
it doesn't have all of it.
Most of it, yeah. But there'd have to be a site. There'd have to be some infrastructure, but it could be done. And the fact that they're overlooking that, especially at those commanding price levels, are.
I don't know what their runtime would be. But it looks like the case is also the charger for them. So every time you put them back in the case, they charge, possibly. I don't know. I do like earbuds, and I would prefer an earbud Bluetooth like they have designed, but I am not going to get an Apple version of it. I'm going to wait until somebody else makes one that's better and not designed by Apple and charged overpriced by Apple and things like that. Because I do like earbuds, and the only reason I've gone to over-the-ear things is because, or on-ear things, is because I don't see a reason why I would buy Bluetooth earbuds and then have something going around my neck. If I'm going to have that, why don't I just have a regular headset? So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Did you do the drone Prime delivery?
Yep, yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
Got some other stuff. I was just checking if there's any new stuff out, but it doesn't look like it. But I thought this was pretty interesting. So if you're a big fan of using Plex, but you prefer trying out Kodi, apparently Plex has a streaming app for Kodi now. so you can kodi your plex media and such. That's cool, I guess. I thought this was an.
I went the other way around though. Is there a Plex plugin for kodi?
I don't believe so.
See, that's what I would like, because I do have access to some Plex content. I don't have access.
Well, that's what this is for. If you have kodi, you can load Plex's streaming app and access Plex content.
Oh, that's exactly what I want then. Yeah. Okay.
The other way around would be if you wanted to use Plex to access kodi content.
No. I'm cool. Thank you. Oh, I misunderstood you then. Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
But anyway, I thought this was a pretty cool service. I've actually had need for something like this before, but it's called Breather, and it finds affordable spaces for events or to work or co-work for a day. So basically, if you're somewhere and you need to work, instead of going to a library and seeing if you can get one of the rooms, then you could try this instead. So interesting. I haven't tried it out, so if anybody tries it out, let me know. I'm going to open it up right now and see what it does. Oh, it's limited to major U.S. cities and major U.S. and Canada cities, it looks like. So downside already, although I was in Chicago one time. So let's see if we got individual work. We want to do today. Find me something. Oh, $55 an hour. $49 an hour. $40 an hour. Oh, that's a nice place for $40 an hour. So much more expensive than using the library, but if you want a very nice place to work for a little while, it's okay. I guess you'd have your company paying for it probably, so not that bad. Interesting service though. Maybe it'll be cooler. I'll save that one for when Proctor gets back, because Proctor comes for it. And it looks like Evernote has responded to their privacy policy changes, and they're defending their employees having access, saying things will be anonymized and they won't have access to your encrypted notes. So again, if you're using Evernote as your entire business CRM, you might want to encrypt everything if you don't want them to be able to read it, even anonymously, even though it's kind of hard to anonymize notes if it's got all your information in it. So, and you have to trust their scrubbing process.
Yeah, but the encryption is worthy to note. I mean, at least there you have the ability to protect your data if you...
Well, I assumed they had something like that, because I mean, even OneNote, you can protect a page and not have to worry about it, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, but it's important to, you know, that there are always mediations a lot of times to these impending doom stories, and it's important to keep that in mind. But again, you know, you do want to take a stance though. If Evernote is actively moving in that direction, it would make me question, even if they did have encryption. You know, I would still have a problem with it if, for instance, I was an Evernote user and up to this point, you know, thinking that my data was secured, but I'm not so sure I would have come to that determination in the first place. Any sort of cloud storage of anything has certain associated risks with it, I suppose. You know, you have to trust the provider of that to a certain degree.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, Quark, is it's like if, say, for example, you're using it as your entire business's CRM, not only are you identifying yourself, but you're identifying other people and information and things.
Is that a use case? Is that what people do with Evernote?
Yes, we know someone that runs their entire business on Evernote, and he is super proud of it. And we have told him that it's not a CRM platform, and he needs to switch. But
Oh.
I don't want to, so.
Listen, it's slightly more technical, but you know me, I like the tech behind technology. So this is AMD's upcoming new processor. This is designed to compete with Intel's high-end enthusiast chips. You know, or maybe not. Yeah, well, actually, technically, it can have up to 8 cores, 16 threads. So even the high-end enthusiast, yes, that means the not even the mainstream like ours is for the 6700K. It would be the i67 or 7700X or whatever those ones are. So you know it's a very big jump, and they did actually post. I don't have it here, but they posted They posted some benchmarks of it, and of course they were very focused on very specific applications, and it was hard to see on a broad scale across the board how the performance would be. But they were throwing in completely competitive numbers with the 6700Ks in the configuration that they offered up, which was equally, the equal number of cores, so 4 cores in that case and 8 threads. So it seemed to be very competitive, and this could be an option. But I just want to hesitate to recommend something. First of all, it hasn't been released yet, so it's too late in the game for any of this stuff to really change. But we'll have to benchmark the product when it actually reaches the shelves. But it's widely speculated that it will be a nice broad shot across Intel's bow, and that would be great. This brings back and harkens back to the days of the original, Athlon and Athlon 64s that were kind of leaders sometimes in performance spaces, and that's not been the case, forever. And if you consider their graphics cards, maybe the 9700 that they had out there, Radeon 9700 or whatever it was back then. That card was a very widely considered to beat NVIDIA's, for instance, and again, that hasn't been the case since forever. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to be platform dependent, so not just the processor; it's what it plugs into, of course, the motherboard. So we'll see what the final package delivers. But the news coming up. The news so far has all been very, very positive, and I commend them on this effort. And it seems like they were not ignoring people. It took them a little bit longer to achieve it, but they weren't ignoring everyone. They were paying attention to their consumers. So.
Cool.
Sorry.
Well, if you ever wanted the ocean to be even more dangerous and scary to go venture into, read this article. Apparently, orca whales have been seen killing rare beak whales. And this is something related to just orcas living off the coast of Australia. But what was interesting in there is apparently they hunt in large packs. And this was a pack of 20 orcas attacking a single lone beaked whale. So, yeah, imagine that, being attacked by 20 orca whales in the middle of the ocean. That would have been way scarier than that, whatever, the sharks or whatever. You remember that movie that all it was they were just sitting in the ocean for hours?
I know what you're talking about. There's been actually a couple of movies that have done that, but
well, there's a big name one.
Yeah, and they drowned the 2 people, right? And they one of them drowned, or both of them drowned. I forget. Floating, swimming. I don't know. Sinking. I don't know. Floating on water for hours on end.
Open water.
Open water.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that would have been a lot scarier with orcas, I feel. I think
with a pack of orcas.
Yeah, I think a pack of orcas would be scarier than. But sharks don't hunt in packs like that. Like a lot of sharks come to blood, but they don't like travel around in packs and attack in packs. Like sharks are all about individual. They don't care. Like shark babies have to swim away because they'll get eaten by the parents.
Yeah,
So
that's wonderful to consider.
yeah, open water. Yeah, be specific. I would
Not
really specific. Anyway, yeah, that's I think that would be scary. Scary. Very scary. Pods. Yeah, I guess not packs. Yeah, pods of orcas.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. I appreciate the clarification. There's all sorts of different pack names. I guess that's a pack is not. Yeah, it's not. It's very
Group
specific.
names.
Group names. Sorry, that would be more appropriate. That's what the internet searches are for.
I had looked at a video for that. I don't think I actually watched it yet. The Dunkirk video. Let's see if I can pull that up here. YouTube. Dunkirk. Man, is anybody else's YouTube defaulting to having closed caption enabled? So that's aggravating.
Not mine.
Oh, a whole bunch of albatrosses are called a rookery.
I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I probably won't like that movie.
A kettle of vultures circling, or a venue of vultures if they're not circling.
It's an
Oh,
army
wombats.
movie. I'm not very fond of
Guess what wombats are? Guess what wombats are? Anybody?
What?
Wombats. A group of wombats are called Wisdom. Oh, I love that. That's my new favorite. Oh, what about woodpeckers? They're called collectively a descent. That's kind of creepy.
Ian, I like your humans are an infestation.
Wow, yeah, thanks, Ian. That's awesome.
That's a Matrix quote.
It is. Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
From
That
the
was
first
Eric,
Matrix.
not Ian.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Eric.
Crow is a murder. That was Ian. Yes, Eric. Sorry.
Well, if you're looking for, we had talked about TP-Link being not so bad. Well, apparently Amazon is having a Gold Days deal on them. Hey, Proctor's got M&Ms.
Now, can we really trust him not to look before he eats it?
Well,
Yeah, you have to establish controls here.
he's going to have to get somebody to come in and help with this.
And
We're going to need him blindfolded.
they don't make bags with all the same color in it, do they?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I haven't had an M&M in probably like 15 years or so.
All right, Proctor, we're gonna need some assistance with this.
Okay.
Is someone around that can blindfold you and then show us the color of the M&M and then hand you the M&M?
There's no one here, but I think I can blindfold myself and then just reach in the bag and grab one and show it up.
All right, well, let's try it that way first. So close your eyes, look in the bag, show it to us, and then...
No, don't look in the bag.
Yeah, don't look in the bag.
Reach in the bag. Don't.
Yeah, reach in the bag.
Phone.
What's a group of hawks, Eric? Is it priceless? Is that what a group of hawks is?
Hawks is a kettle if they're in flight, or a cast if they're if it's generally referring to file.
That's not your camera, Proctor.
To the right.
To boil.
Left.
Other way.
That's left. Down.
No,
okay.
the blue. Oh,
Okay.
Your green.
We know what color it is. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We know what color it is.
You
Are
might
you
have
sure
to
you know
turn
what color it is?
I don't think we
okay.
will because your green screen's coloring it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me. I'm going to check the color of the first one so we know if it's the right color or not. Okay, do you see green? Well, that is not green. I guess you can tell that's green.
Oh,
You
boy.
can't eat that one, Proctor.
Okay, I'll throw it away.
You can eat it.
Actually, I saved it. Okay. Green screen off. Okay.
Yeah.
And I had to go to 3 places before I found M&M's.
Wow.
The first place didn't have any. The other place had gone out of business, and the third place had them.
Wow, not having M&M's. That's crazy.
Well, the first place I tried was just the restaurant behind me, and they don't always have the same candies or any candies.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they have M&M's.
All right, well, while Proctor turns off his green screen, it looks like No More Ransomware project has expanded and added 34 new partners and 32 free encryption tools.
Doesn't take that long to start out with green screen.
All right, now we're going to see if Proctor can tell.
Stop opening your eyes, Proctor.
They're closed. Can you see
All
that?
right, yep, we got the color.
Pressure's on.
Can he tell what color that M&M is just by taste?
Tasted like a green one.
No.
Nope.
Can you give me 3 tries?
All right. Wait, how many colors are there? you can try another one and see if you can get that one.
Okay.
All right, we got it.
I swear I did this once.
We're like all on the edge of our seats.
Now, how do we know he didn't just like say the wrong color for the first one just to throw us off on the fact that he's speaking?
Honestly, I couldn't tell. Let me do another one.
Okay, we got it.
You got it?
He can't tell. He just wants a reason to eat M&M's.
Yeah, he did.
I guess if he keeps guessing enough.
Was that a blue one?
Mm,
Does anybody know?
that was not a blue one.
It was not a blue one. Okay, I'll get one more chance.
The second one you ate was a blue one.
Ooh, oh.
All right, go ahead. That one could be poisonous.
Poisonous?
Yeah.
It was a green one?
No.
Dope. Let me try the peanut one. I normally eat the peanut M&Ms, you know, but I decided.
Dude, I can tell you for a scientific fact that you cannot taste the color of food coloring. That's all that is. There's no flavor.
I realize that, but I swear that I like the orange ones and the blue ones and the red ones best.
You couldn't guess any of them.
Michael,
My favorite is the
that's
orange one.
great.
Every spoiled kid knows the drill here. You love your certain flavors, and you just like certain
Okay,
colors.
we got it.
You got it.
To do.
Go.
Nothing to do with anything.
An orange one.
Nope.
No.
Dope.
That was blue.
Blue.
Okay. Okay, we got it.
The red one.
No,
Nope.
that was blue.
Oh.
You know, one of your other favorites.
Okay, got it.
Eric, it cannot.
Green.
No,
Dope. Okay.
brown.
And you
That
got a
brown one?
20?
I swear I did that once. I got it right like every time.
Destroying his diet. I mean,
Maybe my tastes are just dying.
Well, you have a 16.666 chance of getting it right each time. So, You must have had a very lucky day that day. Maybe you should have went and played the lottery right after you guessed every color of it. So yeah, Eric, just to reiterate your question there, D7 cannot be pushed down to client machines like MSI files and Active Directory. You would want to use your SFX Mini. Now you may be able to push it out, your SFX Mini, to clients using Active Directory and a tool like, what's that tool name? PDQ deploy? Is that it?
Yeah, something like that. PDQ, yeah.
Yeah, if you use that, you could deploy EXEs, and technically that would deploy your SFX there, but then that would also open D7.2 on each of those computers after it was deployed, so you probably don't want that. So yeah, no route to do that. We will mention that to Nick and see if he has any ideas about that, but really D7.2 isn't made to push out to clients. It's made as a tech toolbox, so there's not really a reason to do that, to have it on the client machines. I honestly would never recommend leaving D7.2 on a client system. I would always remove it because there's too much power there. Even if you password protect it so they can't get in the main interface, all those third-party tools, things like that, and their antivirus might not have exceptions for it and catch things that it thinks are bad, but they're not. So yeah, I would always recommend removing it and using it as a toolbox, not as trying to push it out to people. Well, speaking of torrent sites being taken down, apparently Australia is going to start blocking BitTorrent websites entirely. So it looks like they're going the same route as the UK, and people in Australia are going to have to start using VPNs.
Oh, that's against net neutrality. Or wait, there's no international concept of net neutrality, is there?
Nope. I thought this was interesting, and Johnny and I have this fight almost twice a day, every day, and this does not work for us at all. So, of course, the age-old question of what would you like for dinner? And they suggest the 5-3-1 method, where you suggest 5 places to eat or meals to cook for dinner. Your partner picks 3 from that list they'd be happy with, and then you pick 1 of that 3. Although that does sound reasonable, you still end up with the chicken or the egg issue here, which is what Johnny and I always run into, is who's going to start off? Who suggests the 5 places first? And neither of us want to do that. And that's kind of the whole point of the whole issue, is that nobody wants to pick. And there's not any good, really random way to pick stuff. So there was an app that showed me places, and it had a random roll feature, but I forget what the name of that app is now. Maybe I'll find it later.
I like that idea, though. Leave it up to impartial third person or a third
it was
computer, and there would be a third person.
It was kind of like a Yelp app. It wasn't Yelp, though. I know that for sure. But it was like one of those apps that showed you businesses around, restaurants around the area, and then it had an option to randomly pick. And actually, that's not a bad way to eat places. I had used it a couple times and found some pretty decent places to eat through it. So it also kind of got you out and listening and stuff. I'll see if I can try to find that app. While I do, check into this video series that Lifehacker put up, Internet Security Basics course. And we had talked about this a little bit yesterday about the best antivirus, or what we would recommend, and we all kind of agreed that user education is by far the best recommendation. And I have not watched these videos yet, but maybe this is kind of a route that you could take as well, so just keep that in mind. Oh, and now that Proctor's back, I got 2 links for Proctor.
All right.
So Google Drive has a new backup tool that makes it easy for you to back up your content and switch to Android. Hint, hint.
Ah.
And then a new feature for Google Home is you can have it control Netflix. So that doesn't help me because I just canceled my Netflix today because it's worthless. But if you have Netflix and you want to use your Google Home to control that, that'd be nice.
Can you use that backup utility to restore back to iOS? Use it as an alternative backup method for your iPhone.
Unsure. I haven't looked at it or read it, but I would imagine probably not.
Yeah.
Since that's not what they want you to do. And we had talked about this earlier as well, that Pebble was bought out by Fitbit, and everyone was worried because they're going to no longer be supporting or selling or doing replacement accessories or any of that stuff. However, Fitbit has agreed to keep their servers online until 2018. So I didn't even know this. I didn't know that Pebble's apps were actually based on their server, and you had to get it from their server. So essentially your Pebble watch will be junk after that's over. That's kind of sad. And I thought this was an interesting concept, although I'd never heard anyone complain about this. Did you know that there is this thing came up with a left-handed NES controller? So has anyone ever heard of anyone complaining that they're left-handed and the controllers are all made for right-handed?
Listen, I mean, you know, my mom is left-handed, and she complains all the time about mice and stuff, you know, but she's finally given up, or she used to. Over the years, she's given up because, you know, she has to go extraordinarily far out of her way to get things that, you know, work for her that way. So, you know, but they have gotten, generally the shape has gotten a little bit more neutral, so, you know, for those devices, so maybe it isn't so bad, but there is still a towards the right-centric world. I mean, anybody born left-handed has to deal with it, and I can't even go into all the details because I don't suffer from that problem. But even sitting at a table sometimes is hard if you're the only left-handed person. So.
Yeah, no, I know it is difficult, but. Yeah, didn't Tank left-handed?
Mostly.
Have you ever had any issues with game controllers?
No.
Or mice?
No, I'm pretty ambidextrous. I can use a mouse left or right-handed.
Yeah, most left-handed people end up becoming ambidextrous because of the world around them.
Certain things like writing and things like that, I cannot do right-handed at all. I write left-handed and eat left-handed and things like that. But using mouse or game controllers and things like that, it's never bothered me either way.
Basically, anything that's not that you're not completely independent, you know, anything that you have to rely upon, you know.
Even like playing sports as a kid, I played right-handed.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's like, but for the controller aspect particularly, like I can see the mouse thing. The mouse thing would be aggravating for left-handed people.
It doesn't bother me at all. I've actually, like, even the mouse I use now has thumb buttons for right-handed, and it doesn't bother me I can use them just fine left-handed with my ring finger.
But I mean, and that's kind of where I was going with the gamepad, is like, it's not like you're just using one hand for that gamepad. So it's like you have to learn how to use both hands anyway to use a gamepad. So I don't see how it could be right or left-handed. It's not like it's does it really matter if you're controlling going left or right with your left hand or right hand?
Brian points out that
yes, Brian, I do. Right. I do play guitar right-handed, and what little I play.
That's interesting. Instruments, that's a different aspect.
Although, honestly, I've never tried left-handed because that seems like an expensive investment just to see if something works.
Yeah, it would be.
Is that a real dog? Is it a
left-handed dog?
Oh, wow. That's adorable. I guess it is a real dog. That last little second there kind of showed the movement a little bit more clearly, independent movement. For a while, I thought it may have just been a stuffed animal, of course, but no, thank you.
How did you not think that was a real dog? This is like the most lifelike stuffed animal.
No, I mean, it was just so, this was so limp, you know? Oh, thank you for that.
Well, this one is much to Michael's dismay and to all of ours. We don't really think this is the route to take for these, but apparently IBM did a study and found that most businesses, upwards of 70%, pay for the ransomware demands.
I read that and was shocked to my core, and that the first thing that popped into my mind is what we've said before. You know, blast this all over the place. Basically, tell all the bad guys out there that this is the case. I mean, I understand that the data is useful, but I don't. You know, it hit headlines all around the internet, and all that's going to do is create a rash of new ransomwares that probably will start as early as tomorrow or this coming week. You know, and if anything, I would hold. Did they name them? They didn't anonymize it, right? They didn't name.
Well, I'm sure that the ransomware writers know that they're getting paid. They didn't need someone to tell them.
Well, yeah, and that's why ransomware is taken off, is because people are actually paying it. So,
well,
I mean, if nobody was paying, they wouldn't be writing ransomware anymore.
But it's not just ransomware.
Block that stuff.
The ransomware toolkit, so basically anybody can get into the ransomware game. They just, you know, they need to be shown that it's profitable and that it's easy and that it's low risk. And it's very easy to kind of shore up those 3 points. The way they make it, and part of the profitability is, you're never sure what's going to happen, but with stories like this, you're like, oh, there's a real good chance of it. I mean, I
think bring more people to the game, I guess.
Yeah, then that's why we see, you know, these kits that have, you know, that come out that do this. There's a market for criminal tools, you know, for this purpose. So.
Yeah, but it all goes back to the ransomware and that people are paying for it. If people weren't paying for it, they would stop doing it. I mean, just like you don't see viruses that just mess up your computer anymore because there's no money in writing things like that. So why would they do it? So if people stop paying for ransomware, ransomware will disappear. That's the biggest thing there.
I thought another interesting subpoint of that is it looks like parents are more likely to pay ransoms than single individuals or individuals without children. Not really clear on exactly why that is.
You don't want to lose pictures of your kids, dude.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. I had someone that came into the shop at CPU and their daughter's hard drive crashed, and this was a non-recoverable hard drive by regular means. Like, you had to send it off, and we were like, we can send this off, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be cheap to recover it, but we'll get a quote for it and we'll tell you what it is. And she's like, oh, go ahead and send it off. Let's see what we get for a quote. And we came back and it was like $1,600 to get all the data back off this laptop drive. And she was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, they paid for it.
Like, what? Are you kidding me? For some pictures?
We had
way.
In my time in the office, we had a similar situation where somebody was willing to pay. We had a couple of people, though, turned down because the price was out of their range.
I've had businesses turn it down because it costs too much, but it's like...
Yeah, I haven't had, over the years, I have not had many people opt for data recovery.
Yeah. It's just like, man, that's for some pictures. That's all it was, because she could have gotten all her iTunes stuff back, no problem. It was just for her pictures of high school, and I'm like, man.
That's why I don't go
I
with.
would have told my kid to start taking some more pictures.
I see. I mean, it's even like, even as much as I love Lucy, I don't have a tremendous number of pictures of her. I do have several, but not a ton. And you know, people rely upon those very much, and it's always been a cultural thing. It's always been, you know, a remembering thing. But we, you know, as long as your mind is working fairly well, I would hope that we have a good picture in our heads about our loved ones. I know it's a little bit worse, though. I guess my perspective as a single person is a little bit different than somebody who has children.
Well, I came to terms a long time ago, before
With
I
losing data, right?
high school, of losing data. Yeah, it's going to happen, and if it happens and you can't get it back, it's gone. You'll get new data. It's not that big a deal. Like,
yeah,
there's thousands of things that I'll never get back, but
you start to realize that some of them weren't as important as you thought they were, and in fact the emotional turmoil and what you have to go through and the cost in these cases are typically far worse than actually just starting fresh. It's like, you know, almost a little bit of an addiction to have access to the data, the amount of data that we have access to as easily as we have access to it this day and age, and being cut off from that data, of course, demands the high price now in today's society because of that. But, you know, again, if we just stood back and said, all right, you know what, I'm not dead, I'm still breathing, I can get up tomorrow and start new emails, and I'll get new emails tomorrow, you know, why is that the end of the world? When people used to move, you know, and they'd have to contact everybody, and there was no email and no computers and stuff, somehow they moved and still were able to stay in touch with their relatives and still were able to, you know, it's you know, it's not as dead end, I think, as it should be for some people. But
Cork, I assume you were talking about paying the ransomware with your, if there's no way to get any of your data back and you don't have any backed up, and it feels like your only option. But at the same time, I kind of feel like that's more of a take. You just gotta take the hit. Like, I mean, you messed up, you gotta take the hit. But at the same time, I guess I can see in the business decision aspects of it, paying $20,000 to not take a hit that could be multi-million dollars worth of lost revenue.
Yeah, losing the data could cost more than paying the ransom.
Yeah, so and that's, I think, what we really want to get across to everyone as techs is what Cherie said: backup, backup, backup. 3 types of backup, 2 copies on different media, and 1 offsite. That's exactly what everyone should be doing. Is if something is important to you, keep it in more than 2 locations. That's what I've always told everyone. It doesn't matter what it is. If something is that important to you that you don't want to lose it, you need to have it in more than 2 locations. So you have it in 2 locations, you need to have it in at least 3 locations.
And that's the beauty of data. It's so easy to copy. Okay, I mean, it's not like it involves you having a duplicate document of something that you have to draw up or send away for or something like that. It's just another copy of it, and you know, computers have generally made that relatively easily for quite some time.
Well, another thing you need to do is not only back it up, you need to test your backups regularly to make sure they worked.
Yep.
And have it, yeah,
make sure they're backing up data and make sure that they can restore data.
I walked into a job and I was only supposed to be like a answer the phone person, and I ended up like starting to look around things and wanting to learn their back end. And I was like, so what are you guys doing for backups? And like, well, we come in here and we take this tape out, we put a new tape in. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. What do you do if you have to restore it? And they're like, I mean, I guess we just go through the restore process. And I was like, you know, it might be good if we just test that just to make sure we can go through the restore process. And they're like, you know, that's probably not a bad idea. Let's try it. Ends up not a one of their backups had been backing up for like the past year and a half. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. So, yeah, this is why you want to make sure that your backing up is actually backing up, because they were just going in, swapping out tapes, not looking at logs, and like even just going into the logs, because we tried restoring it and we were like, oh, it's failing. It says there's no data here. And we looked into the logs and clearly the backup schedule log said backup failed, backup failed, backup failed, backup failed.
I've seen that so many times. Yeah.
They were just going in there swapping the tapes and not even looking at the log.
Just swapping tapes and not even caring about it. And I'm like, man, wow, that is insane. So,
one last thing. I know we're getting a little bit over on our time here, but some people falsely believe that just using a Linux desktop might provide them a measure of protection against some of these online threats that are out there. Like I used to hear bomb safe, and that may have been okay for a certain nascent earlier period of time, but this article points out that that's not the case any longer. If you're using a common distribution, it's likely that you're vulnerable for certain zero-day vulnerabilities.
Well, and everyone has been warning those people, like, same thing about Mac users. Mac users were like, I don't have to worry about antivirus. I got a Mac.
Same thing.
Like, well, no, you will. Trust me. If your Mac starts getting popular, it's going to be attacked. That's the reason why people are... The same thing with the ransomware. Why write stuff if there's no money in it? Now there's money in Linux and Mac because people are switching away from Windows because of the virus issues. And guess what? The virus writers are following. They're getting Macs and Linux boxes and attacking it, and all of them have issues. There's not a single OS out there that is actually secure. And actually, I could probably go as far to say that there's probably not a piece of software out there that's fully secure. Like, there's bugs and problems with it, anything.
Yeah,
the more complicated, the larger chance there is. So.
And this article points out the consequences of, the hacks that Brantley talked about earlier. I just wanted to follow up, and it's a little bit unrelated to that issue we just talked about, but it's another security matter, and we don't always, okay, well, the billion accounts were hacked, and, you may think, oh, well, mine's not, or mine wasn't effective, or I've gone taken steps to protect myself, but the consequences down the road for this data breach is pretty significant, and that article points some of those things out. Notepad. What's the reference to Notepad, Ian?
Notepad probably does have security vulnerabilities, Ian. I can almost be certain of it, because it probably hasn't been changed since XP. So, but there's no reason to attack Notepad, because what are you going to get out of it? Probably nothing. So,
I don't think you're going to get elevation privileges from Notepad.
Yeah. So I mean, almost every bid software has vulnerabilities, I would imagine.
Theoretically, if it's short enough, small enough, if there's few enough lines of code that can be completely analyzed from a security perspective, theoretically, that'll happen. But once you get beyond a certain size, which virtually every modern application has beyond something like Notepad, possibly, I think that comes into play. Wouldn't you agree, Brantley?
I would definitely agree on that. So yeah, the more complex, the more likely you are for vulnerabilities, and OS software is the most complex software you can get, basically. So it's not surprising that they have holes and security vulnerabilities. So, all right, well, we have gone past our time limit. We've proved that Proctor can't tell the difference between colored M&Ms, and I got one last little fun link here for you. Apparently, if you go to the Winds Hotel in Las Vegas, every room will have a Amazon Echo, and you'll be able to voice control the curtains and AC without even getting out of bed. So
awesome. That was in Vegas?
Yep.
I kind of figured that would come. It seems almost perfect because it's relatively low cost for them, and it's gonna draw a few people extra in, and the money, even if they bring in a person there for just a little extra time, pays off dividends for those folks. So,
and they will be doing lights and TV too. So, yeah, and that I kind of feel like, I mean, we got the controllable lights for our stuff, and I enjoy using it to voice control turning lights on and off. So.
I know Johnny does. She mentions it every time. She shows it off.
What brand of the Wi-Fi light did you get?
The Wi-Fi light I got was, let's see,
The Hughes ones?
No,
Magic light.
we have Hughes now, but the Wi-Fi light, it's just Wi-Fi only, doesn't require it, is a Magic Light WF. Magic Light Wi-Fi.
Work real well for you? Any security concerns?
It's okay. I have it blocked from going outside of my network, so I don't care if there's any security concerns. I mean, it does everything well. It's got a smartphone app. You can get as many lights as you want to add to it. And the only thing I would say, though, Proctor, is we did get the Hue lights.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and so far those have been great. We got the Hue Bridge starter pack thing, and it completely covers our house, which is about the same size as your house. So you'd be fine with just one bridge, and then you just start adding lights to it.
Are you able to control it with Alexa or with Google Home?
Yeah, and that's why we went with the Hue, is because Google Home can only control the Hue lights. It can't control this Magic light thing. But Alexa can control the Magic light. So
okay.
So
well, I was doing a little research on it yesterday, and I found a company called LIFX or LIFX.
Yep.
And their bulbs look really nice, and they did apparently have the ability to work with Google Home, but they've disabled it. I don't know if they were having problems or what, but hopefully that'll work soon. But their bulbs do not require a base station.
I think I looked at that one, and I didn't like something about it. I think it was like the reviews might have been like half of the reviews, or like this thing didn't work for more than a week.
Oh, wow.
Like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't. The Magic Light one seemed to have a couple people say similar things, but I haven't had any issues with it, and the majority of people didn't have any issues with it. But when I was looking at getting other ones, I was obviously taking the Google Home thing into account, in which basically Hue is the only thing you can get. And then I was looking at the price comparison of it, and considering I only need one bridge to cover all of my house, it's the same price basically to get a Hue light, and they're far, far nicer lights. Like, I definitely say the Hue lights are much nicer than that Magic light. So I would recommend going for the Hue thing, and I'm trying to see if I can find it. Amazon right now is probably not the best time to get these, because Amazon seems like it's a popular item this year.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit out of price range, but that's the starter kit. You get 3 bulbs and a bridge for.
Okay, that's pricey.
Yeah, it's $200 for all of that, but then it's only $50 for each bulb thereafter, and that's about the price of that Magic Light thing was. I'll see if I can get the Magic Light thing here. But the Hue lights have a lot more nicer options and stuff, and it is actually cooler to have the Google Home, because Google Home can change the color of them, where Alexa cannot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and so Alexa can only turn them on, off, and dim to a certain amount. But so this, I think, is the one I got for the Magic Light. And I believe I only did get the 7-watt one. I didn't get one that's higher. So it is a little bit cheaper. It's about $20 cheaper per bulb. But you can tell a big difference between them, and the app that you have to use based off of it is way worse comparative to the Hue app, and you can do so much more with Hue. I would recommend going with the Hue ones, probably.
All right, cool.
Because it's not like you're going to be replacing them within the next 5-10 years anyway, so it's a better investment for down the road. But yeah. Oh, I get one other last fun link here. Everyone hates writing Christmas cards, and Nels, I still haven't forgotten about you. I'm going to get you that answer. But here is a Lego assistant to take care of all your Christmas card writing. So if you like playing with Legos and don't like writing Christmas cards, you can do it all in one now. Proctor, for us, 5526 sound like a familiar number to you? I won't say what it is. I just wanted to see if that sounded like a familiar number to you for our business.
Yeah, I think so.
So, Nels, I PM'd you the best address and just do... And then I'll also send you Michael's address directly here.
What? No, whoa, 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 whoa. No, thank you. Por favor.
It's just for Shree.
Shree?
Yeah. It's fine. You can use that address and we'll get it doled out from there. So very much appreciated. You don't have to do that, by the way. We definitely don't have to. But
just so you know, Brantley, that number that you mentioned is on all of our invoices anyway that go out with purchases.
Okay. Well, I just didn't. I don't want to yell out addresses too much on air. But
okay.
So yeah, so that's there. I did PM you, Nels. You got that, hopefully. And otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And always a pleasure to have everybody talking and back and forth with everyone. So we hope you have enjoyed it as well, and we hope you had a good week. And we'll be back tomorrow for our Friday show at 6 p.m. So if you do have any other questions about our products or services, feel free to ask our support by any means. You can contact us, or you can wait until tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll be happy to talk to you directly on the air. So otherwise, I think we're good for today, and thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Take us on out, Proctor.